In today's video, I'm going to show you 2 techniques to achieving flawless brows. Okay, so first technique I'm going to show you guys is the one that I use most often, and it's just basically simply filling in my brows, outlining the very bottom first, tracing out the natural shape and curvature of the brow, with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz pencil. Of course, you can use any pencil. This is my pencil of choice. But I get it from Ulta for about 21 bucks. But my color I'm using, it is very close to my natural hair color, and it's an ebony. And I just kind of, once again, I start with outlining the bottom or tracing the bottom line of my brow. And then I do, as I fill in the brow, building up the shape, I do short hair-like strokes. So that's one key. You want to make sure that you're using the correct color. It would not be natural looking or realistic for me to use a jet black pencil when doing my brows, because that's just not the natural color of my hair. Also, jet black can look a little too harsh on most people. Even if your hair is darker, your natural hair color or brow color is darker than mine, jet black kind of gives you that, to me, that magic marker look or crayon look, and that's not natural. That's not really what we're going for, what you should be going for when filling in your brows. Short hair like strokes, that look mimics hair. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm not creating an arch that's not already there. My brows may be sparse, but that's the way they naturally grow. And then once you kind of fill them in with that pencil, you take the spoolie side and you kind of brush that color through. It kind of separates those brow hairs, and just helps to blend that color. Now, your brows typically go from the inner corner will be lighter than the outer edge of the brow, the outer corner, whatever you want to call it. So to help me, the spoolie helps with that blending or faded or gradient technique look with your brows. But if you struggle with that, you can always go in on, to the middle, to the end part of your brows with a darker pencil, or what I like to use is the Anastasia dipbrow pomade, and I use that. I forget the color, but I'll have all of the items I use in the description. But I kind of use that on the tail end of my brow. It kind of helps with that gradient effect and kind of takes my brows a little darker on the end. Now I'm cleaning up my brows with a flat tip, very tiny little brush I picked up from the beauty supply, and my Studio Fix concealer by MAC in NC 25, I think NC 30. I like to keep NC 30. That's the one I use most often, but I do also have NC 35. But I think I'm using NC 30 today. And basically, you basically cleaning up your brows. You're giving yourself the appearance of a fresh arched look. When you first get those brows arched, the skin is a little lighter right up underneath because you've had hair removed. So that's what the concealer does. Plus, it cleans that line, that initial line that you first started with when doing your brows. Now, you want to make sure also for a natural looking brow that your brows are the right length. They should not go past your nostril. So to measure, you can hold that pencil up for the front, and then the outer corner, it tells you where your brows should stop or end. You don't want your brows too long in either direction. Too long in the inner will give yourself like a unibrow, okay? And that's not cute on nobody, all right? If the brow isn't long enough in the inner corner, it will give you the illusion that you have a bigger nose also, which, unless that's what you're going for, which I'm not, that's not cute on me, okay? So you just want to make sure that they're the right length. Now, I do like to set that concealer with a little bit of powder. And the powder that I'm using is a very light or fair color powder, and it's the Rimmel Stay Matte. And then I'll go in with my NYX powder. It's closer to my natural skin tone, and that's just going over that very light powder the Rimmel powder that I put down. And this is not like eyeshadow or anything. It's basically just setting that concealer that I use to clean up my brows. And lastly, I use my Clear Brow Gel by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this just helps to set those brows in place so that they don't easily rub off or slip off if I start to get oily in my T-zone or across my brows. It works kind of like hairspray does on hair. And that's pretty much my very first technique. I'm being real chatty, y'all, so that's why I'm doing a voiceover. Technique number 2, I'm gonna be using just one different item, and that's the glitter glue by Too Faced, the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in dark brown, the spoolie end of my Brow Wiz pencil, and also a slanted tip brush by Sonia Kashuk. So first, you're going to start off by going through or coating the hairs of your brows with this glitter glue. It goes on white, but it does dry clear. This helps to set and really define the hairs that you have. And I saw this technique with another fellow YouTuber, and her brows were really cute, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna give it a try. And ever since I did, I've been getting a lot of compliments on my brows, so I'm kind of digging it. I'm gonna definitely start using this technique more often. But basically, once you get that glue off through your brows, you're gonna brush your brows into place with the spoolie end of your Brow Wiz pencil, and that just kind of helps it kind of makes those hairs stay put. They kind of stay into place once that glue dries. This glue kind of acts like a wax, so to speak. And it gives you that bushy or really full brow look. So, which is cute, ladies, so you might want to give it a try, because I'm really feeling it. But as I'm just trying to let that glue kind of dry so it'll get rid of that white cast look, and it does. But if it doesn't and you see a little white there, don't worry about it, because that dip brow is gonna cover it up. So now I'm going in with my dip brow pomade, and from here on out, it's basically the same as if I was using a pencil. I'm gonna start by outlining or tracing the brows along the bottom. And I'm sorry if I'm kind of out of frame a little bit. I just thought about cutting the camera on at the last minute as I was trying to rush and get ready. But yeah, from here on out, it's kind of the same as the first technique. You just outline or trace the bottom of the brows, and then the only difference is I go in with this dip brow pomade, and I just kind of go over or go in the direction. All right, and from this point on, you guys, it's pretty much the same as the first technique. The techniques don't really differ from this point on. I clean the brows up with the same concealer. The concealer, once again, that I'm using today is my MAC Studio Fix Finish in NC30. And when you outline or trace the brows with the concealer, you want to be sure that you drag that concealer down a bit to blend it out, because you don't want to look like you used a white pencil and drew a circle or line around your brows. So you want to trace it out. That cleans that line up, gives you that fresh arched look that we talked about earlier in the first technique, but then you drag it or brush it down, or blend it down, I should say, to blend it and fade it on out. And this brush by Real Techniques is some type of complexion brush, and that just helps. And there you have it, you guys, my finished look. Thank you so much for watching.